Alright, it is time to talk about Plan 10 of Ninja Turtles. Now, this episode, it's not really one of my favorites, but I still like it. It's the one I least remember when I think about season 2 of this show. But it's basically where the turtles are hunting the Krang, and they find them at some warehouse, and apparently they're using what looks like a mind swap machine. And their test subject is some random guy in a pigeon, and they actually do it. They swap minds. And now the turtles get into a brawl with these Krang, and then while Raph is getting too angry over it, he ends up switching minds with a Krang droid. And now it's up for Raph to try to get back to the turtles and switch him back. And they do figure out that Raph swap minds with it. So, as you know, I'm a huge mind swap fan guy. Because I was always obsessed with, stories like Superior Spider-Man. And I always liked those kind of Freaky Friday stories. Even in Beavis and Butthead, it's done in a very comedic way, even though they didn't actually mind swap. But anyway, in this, it definitely feels like it'd be a great mind swap story. I just love how Raph is trying to adjust to a Krang body. He is struggling to use it. He ain't as, still as they act. They're always they're not really moving their bodies around, but Raph, it keeps moving the arms and stuff. It's meant to be funny. And then eventually, while Raph is kidnapped at what looks like the sunken Technodrome, which is revealed to be still active, and there's a bunch of Krang in there, and we see a little appearance of Krang Prime. So, it looks like Krang Prime is planning an Earth invasion, and now Raph learns about it, thank goodness. And it must be terrifying that Krang Prime is literally calling for the Krang droid that Raph's stuck in, and Raph is trying to his best not to blow his cover. But then when the Krang droids leave, he finally does contact the turtles, and they're like, and he's like, guys, I'm trapped. And the turtles were kind of just doing their own thing for a bit, trying to figure out what's going on. They do get Raph after the Krang that's trapped in him is going around bothering random civilians. And yeah, there's a few weird moments. Mikey ends up tickling Raph. I thought that was a little strange, but then the Krang droid just acts so robotic. Look at that face. Not to make fun, but you can just tell how mopey and emotionless the Krang can be. But anyway, the turtles do use that little submarine thing to go to the Krang base, and yeah, they're tired, and we do see the return of the whale thing. I thought that was cool. And then they do find Raph, who ends up stealing one of the Krang droid bodies to use, since he can't exactly get through all the guards. And then eventually they go into a little room where it has Plan 10, and Krang Prime also wants to use Plan 10 as a thing for the invasion of New York. And then eventually Donnie's messing around with the Plan 10 machinery, and he ends up accidentally swapping minds of Casey and April. And Casey ends up looking at April's butt. It's a little weird. And April's just I guess it's meant for comedy, but it just seems weird, in my opinion. Not saying anyone did anything harmful, just you get my point. And yeah, Donnie does switch them back, and Raph, before getting taken out by a Krang droid, he ends up switching back, and he just punishes that Krang. He just bounces him like a bouncy ball and just throws him. And then eventually the turtles escape, and thank goodness they learned their lesson. And Raph does tell them that he's back and happy, saying thank you for saving them, and the turtles are shocked. Even Leo. And then yeah, they say that Plan 10 is the invasion is happening, and the turtles gotta prepare. They even ask Master Splinter for help, and he does give them their best advice. And that's the episode. So yeah, like I said, this ain't my favorite episode. It was nice seeing the Krang again. The Krang episodes are definitely fun, for sure, for this show. I don't know what the next episode is. I think it's like one of the Karai episodes. Or yeah, I was thinking Into Dimension X, but no, that's later. I can't wait to talk about both of those episodes for sure. So yeah, thanks for watching, and Turtle Power!